Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. So before we start, there's just something, I really just want to address. It's no secret as to what's going on in the world today. And to say it's disturbing is very much an understatement. You would think as people and as a human race by 2023 that we move past a lot of this stuff. What is going on in Israel is some of the most, I would say in my own lifetime, the most disturbing stuff I've ever seen. And I don't even believe in watching the news. I think I made it through 2 years of COVID where I didn't watch a single news station. And can you imagine waking up in a house where you have your parents in your house, your kids in your house, and people literally doing these kinds of heinous activities? And look, this is terrorism in our living flesh that we're living through today. And you look around in New York City, you look around in Chicago, what's even scarier is they're educating people, protesting on the street that these are good things. No human deserves to die based on their race, religion, creed, where they're from, or anything. These are disgusting acts of violence. And anyone that believes in them, I don't believe in you. Right? I stand with Israel. I stand with the people. And you can't sit here and say things like live more life and not support life. I normally don't touch politics with a 500-foot pole, but this is about a matter of morals. And it's a matter of knowing the difference between right and wrong. War generally is fought with men and is done with some form of honor, not innocent women and children. I have a very good friend of mine who was my fraternity brother in college, and he's in the Israeli Special Forces, and he went there. And he shared a video of me, with me yesterday, literally, of children locked in cages with these people laughing. It is terrible. And the perfect thing for all of us to think about in this moment is if you carry hate with you, this is what comes out of it. In the United States, we lived through 9/11, which was terrible. You saw people jumping out of burning buildings, the way that happened. This is a whole nother level of terror, a whole nother level. These people are going through villages and homes of people that just woke up joyfully going to festivals, sharing days with their family, kidnapping women, children, elderly, torturing people. This is disgusting. And we all need to reach out to anyone we know as friends, family there, and support them. As people, I encourage you all to wake up and realize how valuable your freedom really is. You wake up every day, and we don't think about any of this stuff here, any of it. You wake up every day, you have a free home, you can walk on your streets for the most part safely. Your kids can go outside and play. You don't have any fear, doubt, or worry of anything. But look at this. This is actually happening today. And again, I'll say this, the fact that there are people in large metro cities around the entire country parading around saying that this is deserved. I don't care what religion you believe in. No higher being wishes the slaughter of innocent women, children, and elderly or people. This is not God. This is not anything else. This is an act of terror. So, to be very clear, this is not a place for these messages. This is not condoned. And, my heart goes out, and it's hard even when I woke up in this morning to look at my kids and even think about this. Like, we're living through some really messed up times. And there's pain everywhere. Look at what's going on in Ukraine. Look at what's going on in Israel. Look at all those families in Hawaii. They got offered $700. That's it. The world makes no sense. None. So what can we do? We can all just be more grateful for what we have. We can support the people that are our friends, our families, our communities. We can use our voices to stand up to this for what it is, an act of terrorism. So you'll never hear me really ever talk about this, but I don't care about business or anything else. If someone doesn't like what I'm saying and you want to leave, that's fine. This is wrong on every level as human beings. And no one should ever be subjected to anything like this in their life. And I wish I could say that I think it's going to get better anytime soon, but if people are protesting like this in streets of one place, or people that believe something opposite, especially when people are protesting pure evil, anyone that speaks of this positively is just as bad as the people committing the crimes. So, look at your life a little differently than you do today. Be really grateful for everything you have, the veterans that support us, the freedom that comes at a price. Look, so many of these people, you don't know them by name, you don't know them by face, but these are people. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today. So be humble, be kind, be thoughtful. During COVID, and for years, people told me to move this, and I didn't. They said this picture of a big globe, and it had a heart on it and said love for the people. It was just a constant reminder every day that we should just all love, we should love people, except the Hamas people. Those people have whatever is coming to them. It's karma. But it's too much. And so wake up, step into your life and enjoy every moment of it. And believe me, your heart is not really hard. You have 24 hours of free choices every single day, right? So what you choose to do today, whether it's take a walk in a park, whether it's hold on to your kids, spend time with your parents, that is an opportunity that's not offered to everyone in the world today. As crazy as that sounds. You have people literally trying to wipe an entire group of people off the face of the earth. So if anyone has anyone affected by this that I can personally help, please let me know. I'm happy to do whatever I can. I'm happy to use my social platforms. I'm happy to use any form of communication I have. So I just wanted to start off by acknowledging that. And if anyone has friends and family, I stand with you. My heart's with you. And as a person, I hurt. My whole life is to help people create joy, smiles, and happiness in all that they do. So that's something that just needed to be said. My apologies if you showed up for a coaching session and you had to sit here and hear this and it's not what you wanted to, but somebody has to say something. Now is the time to use your voice. So I'm going to take a breath and put my emotions aside and, go back to our regularly scheduled coaching program where we had really big changes happen last week. So for the dozens of you who've been here for several years, they've said, wow, Chirag, you've been talking about this buyer agents thing for 2 years. It's happened. So how do we get prepared for this? The good news is I believe all of you should be ahead of this. There are things that I want you guys to think about and super focus on. Now, can I be brutally honest with you guys all today of what I would do if I were you? If I was an agent doing this, I would wake up in the morning, I would lose sleep, and I would stay late, and I would become obsessed about taking advantage of this. Because think about it, there's just some simple questions that you're now going to need to answer. Here's the good news for Compass. As a company, the average price point is like top 3 in the country, especially number 1 for larger brokerages. We have a $1.2 million average price point at Compass. Pretty crazy, right? So if you look at your clients, you need to become obsessed with like profiling, right? And this is a whole new level of this. I'd be going on everyone's Instagram. I'd be going on everyone's Facebook. I'd be looking at it. Do they have a BMW? Do they have a nice bag? Do they have any of this stuff? Because our clients that are luxury clients see a value in paying for things that have brand equity and value to them, correct? Think about this. You buy a Mercedes or you buy a Toyota. They're both cars that get you from point A to point B. You can buy a Louis Vuitton handbag or a handbag from Kohl's. They're both things that store stuff. You can buy a Bruno Cucinelli sweater for $2,000, or you could buy a sweater at Old Navy as a man for $15, $20. They're both clothes that you wear. You can go to the Ritz-Carlton and receive unbelievable service, or you could go to the Holiday Inn. Both of them are a hotel room you stay in and sleep in. It's a difference between you and everybody else. The difference that makes a difference is, how do we communicate this with people? You have to communicate it now. And for those of us who choose to take advantage, every one of you should go on our email and join the WhatsApp group. 100%. There's people that are starting to work in there like, hey, I have 15 minutes for you. You want to role play? Another person hopping in doing this. I'd be practicing this conversation ad nauseum because there's nothing more important than you have to do. And the whole world is frozen. No one even knows how to even talk about this. There's some fear-based training from other coaching programs. That's just bullshit. You need to come from a place of strength. Yes, we'll email out the accountability groups as well. So here's something to think about, and then we're going to go in. I'm going to drop some gems in terms of scripts and everything else for people, things that you guys can all use today. So every client has this in buying a home. They have their own personal decision-making matrix. Some people might be looking for a great negotiator. Some people might be looking for a great listener. Some people might really focus on the experience, which I think everyone is. They might want people with certain local market expertise, somebody that they like and feel comfortable with, someone that they're making a decision based on a reputation, how professional they are, what their perspective is on the market. And when I say compass technology, they want a tech-savvy, forward-thinking realtor. And then, like, what do your clients search for online? Each person's different. Some people want amenities, price, or working within a budget, a specific location, information on what else is going on in the market, school information, community information. I'd be dialing this message in and understand which one of these are your strong suits so you know how to frame your pitch. In terms of what are your clients searching for online, if I'm you, you need to know every single thing on where these portals start, where these portals end, and where they pick up and where you need to pick up. Let me give you an example. Who wants to do a role play with me for a buyer lead? You can be the buyer. I'm going to be the agent. That should make this a lot easier. Okay, cool. Oh, who said that first? Hey, Nicole.
Hello there.
So watch this. You're going to be a buyer. And how many times you get buyers and people that you're working with that are searching on an online portal?
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. And so what do they normally tell you?
I'm just starting to look, or I'm just glancing. I'm not ready to purchase. Usually it's one of those things.
Perfect. So, one of the things is in this is understanding the gap, right? So if you go on Zillow, what I'm going to tell you to do is sign up for an account, and you need to know how people search online, what information is available, what's available on the side, what type of emails do they send, how do they prompt open houses, and then you can figure out based on what your clients love about you and the service you offer where the gap is. Right. And when they're on those calls and they're telling you this, aren't you trying to get them off the portal and onto yours and work with you?
Yes.
So you be the buyer, I'll be the agent.
Great.
So you can start.
Oh, okay. All right. So I clicked on something and you're calling me.
Yeah. Hey, I would say, hey, Nicole, I see that you're calling about 123 Main Street. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I was just taking a look. Not really ready, but just glancing at the house. Thought it'd be fun to go online and see what's out there.
Great. So you're in the information gathering phase. Is that correct?
I would say so.
And so what information specifically were you looking for that you're not able to find online?
That's an excellent question. I mean, I'm always curious to know like what my neighbors have sold their house for, but also what potentially, well,
you're an undercover seller. Keep going. This happens all the time.
Okay. So, I'm not sure if I wanted to sell my house. So I'm also kind of looking to see what my house is worth and does it make sense for me to sell right now? So this one just caught my eye. I thought I would take a look at it.
Okay. So you had shared that this property caught your eye and you want to know what your neighbors sell for. So do you live in the neighborhood?
I do.
Got it. So specifically, you want to get an idea as to what specifically, you want to have an idea of what your neighbors were willing to accept for their homes in terms of pricing.
Yes.
Outside of that information, is there any other information that's important to you right now?
Well, I do have kids, so I'm always curious to see also about the school districts, and if things are changing. Sometimes I like to look at the crime stuff as well. Um, but how long things have been sitting on the market and if they're selling at a discount or what they're selling for. So those tends to be things I kind of looking at to see which way the market's going, because I never know which way the market's going.
Got it. So you're looking for not only market data, what I hear, it sounds like you're looking for some market interpretation. Are your kids, did you want your kids, if you potentially made a move, to stay within the same school district?
Yes, I do live in a great neighborhood with good schools.
Got it. So ready now, do you see how we're engaging you in this conversation of what you want to have, right? Then I would turn around, and this is where understanding the gap is. And I would say, so what primarily made you look on Zillow?
Well, sitting here having my morning coffee and, I always get marketing materials from agents in the neighborhood. And I thought, well, let me kind of go online, and one caught my eye. So I thought I would take a look at it.
Got it. And normally, you know how most people say is like, oh, they're great websites. It gives me a lot of information and everything else, right?
Mhm.
So in this case, I would say, look, Zillow's a great website at giving you blank, blank, blank. You need to know all the benefits. And you say, can I share with you what our clients find really helpful?
Sure, that'd be great.
So what our clients really find helpful, and then I would insert my value proposition of what they can't find in Zillow, right? So I would say, what our clients really find helpful is a more curated approach, not only understanding the value of your property, where you want to go, what experiences are important, the type of community and home you have, so we could align something that's based on your specific needs.
Well, that sounds really good.
Is that something you think you could benefit from?
I think I could.
Yeah, and listen, I completely just want to acknowledge you're in the information gathering phase. So I want to give you the information that will be most helpful for you in your own decision-making matrix. And if something comes out of it, that's great. If not, I find it's always good to have people better prepared for a future decision.
All right, great. Thank you.
And then I would close for the appointment. Thank you.
Thanks.
Was that very complicated to do? It's understanding the gap, right? So we all spend time talking about stupid things like the sites aren't up to date with data and this and that and the other thing. You need to acknowledge what the sites are great for. And you can say what our clients find. Would it be helpful that we know these sites are great for A, B, and C? Would it be great if I could share with you what our clients additionally find helpful when working with us? And they're going to say yes. I didn't say I do, or clients enjoy, and then insert your value proposition. But if you don't know everything about the website, then you have a problem. I don't mention anything about them paying things because I'm not even at that point. All right, so that's scenario one. So you need to understand who you are, what you do, and what your clients are searching for online. And stop trying to tell someone how to feel in 30 seconds by just explaining to them why what you offer is better. Do you see how we frame that whole conversation? Okay, cool. Now I'm going to stick with the buyer thing. When you're talking with buyers, right? Number one, we've always talked about what type of experience you're looking for in partnering with an agent in purchasing a home. Here's another variation of this. And look, you need to have all these tools as tool belts, I would say to you, what are you looking for in an agent who you partner with for the purchase of your home? What are you looking for in an agent that you partner with for the purchase of your home? Here's another one. What are you looking for from an agent that you feel you're not able to do on your own as a buyer? What are you looking for from an agent that you're not able to do on your own as a buyer? That's a good one, right? Does anyone ever ask their clients that? Anybody? That acknowledges that they're looking on their own, and that also tells you exactly what they want instead of just making all this shit up. Now, number three, this is one of my favorite questions, right? And this is I think the easiest way to do this, and I was talking to the woman who made my brand, whose clients are MLSs, right? So she has so much data on this. And she's like, Chirag, not only are you uniquely fit in this for doing this, she goes, you're the best storyteller I've ever known. Being able to tell stories and share these experiences is really important. So anyone to answer this question, this is what you're going to have to deal with on the list side. Now, if you normally list at 6%, I would say, Cynthia, I know Sarah had bought a house from you and you paid her 6%. And I'm aware of kind of that we don't have to offer buyer's commissions anymore. So look, I'm going to price my house really well. Why don't we just list it at 4%? We can get a discount and you can keep more money. And our house is going to sell in a week because we want to price it aggressively. What would you say?
Well, thanks for telling me what you're thinking about. So do I understand you think your house is going to sell within a week and you want to list it for 4% because that's what you think other people have sold for? Is that what you're saying?
Nope, but you didn't listen to what I said.
Okay.
So
can you tell me again?
So what I had said was, look, Sarah, I know Sarah had paid Cynthia, Sarah's really kind to refer me. And I know she had shared with you, I know that she had paid 6%, but I know I don't have to offer buyer's agent's commission. So it's something I don't want to really do. And why not do 4% where normally, Sarah said that you had kept 3 on the list side. You can make an extra percentage and we don't have to offer the buyers anything. Does that work for you? Or what do you think? Exactly. You don't have to answer.
Yeah, I'm just going to pass right now. My mind is in so many places. But
No problem. No one's mind is in this place because no one's ever been asked that question before.
Right.
Now watch this. Everyone needs to go nerd out on their agency disclosure forms.
Mm-hmm.
You guys all have agency disclosure? It's different in every single state. Like in Florida, you could be a transactional broker. In New York State, you can be a buyer's agent, you could be a seller's agent, you could be a dual agent. So here's the thing. I'm going to go through this and I would say to you, hey, I completely understand. Let me walk you through a few different options with the buyer's agent commission, without a buyer's agent commission, and whatever you decide to do, I support you 100%. So number one, you have to all be ready to accept the fact that in some scenarios, this is just how it's going to be. Right? So I would ask you this question. So when you think of engaging an agent, what are the things that you find most valuable in the type of support an agent can give you? So you're going to say, will it be helpful in understanding your specific needs, your personal situation to craft a curated strategy? Yes. Would it be able to take the things that are most important to you and be able to use them in a negotiation? Yes. Are you looking for professional advice when a buyer makes an offer in terms of reviewing the offer, our feedbacks, our thoughts based on our knowledge? Yes. Great. So let me ask you a question. If John came to buy your house for $1 million, and I said, John's offering $1 million, and you ask me what I think, and I could only say it's $1 million, you just have to make a counter offer. Would that make you feel good about the 4% you're paying in commission and getting a value for your service? What do you think they're going to say? No. What person, minus a small subsegment of people, want an agent that could give them no advice? Does everyone see what I just did? Hit yes or no. So look, what I did was position this so it's in their benefit. So if they say no, by representing both parties, I am not able to give you any kind of professional advice because I'd be acting as a dual agent. Now, the other scenario in this is the buyer could go unrepresented. But if they have no guidance, and then I take out the buyer checklist, and we're going to make this for you, these are all the things you'd have to figure out on their own. Do you think of a buyer that has no experience of doing this, you think there's something that could go wrong? Bingo. And then there's the other scenario that now we could offer out no compensation. And as much as I'd love to say that my colleagues in the real estate industry are all going to work equally, a lot of people don't know how to communicate this. So some people might not bring their buyers there, or we can expect you're still paying me 4%. They're going to build a buyer's agent commission in their offer. Or we could just go back and do it the way that we've always done it. And it could potentially be a much smoother transaction for you. What works best for you? Do you think anyone wants to negotiate a case-by-case buyer's agent's offer? Hell no. And by the way, those people that do are discounters, commission cutters, and they're giant pains in the asses as clients. That's such an easy conversation to have. And that's why you need to know all the things that lead up to it. So when you get there, it's an easy conversation. You're completely, remember number 6 of the keys to an effective conversation, don't be attached to the outcome. I don't care what you do. I'm getting paid. You're hiring me. So let me know which one works best for you. And when you're able to describe agency disclosure like that, most agents are not going to do this. Because when I talk about the agency disclosure angle, everyone's like, say, what? It's new. Because this is how I figured this out for all of you. It's simple. You got to be an industry nerd to really understand this stuff. And if you've never sold real estate, you're not thinking of this. Think about it. When you get a double-sided deal, this is what you have to do. And like, look, in Florida, some people just might want a transactional broker. It says, great, I'm paying you for your marketing and everything else like that. I can negotiate this thing on my own. Fine, 4%, no problem. But be aware that most agents that come with buyers will write a compensation offer into it. And I'm not saying this could or cannot happen, but if there's no compensation and a buyer doesn't want to pay their agent, or their agent doesn't understand how to build it into an offer that comes off of your net, they might not show your property. True or false? If you're selling $1 million home, do you think $25,000 in cash in this type of economy would influence somebody if they wanted to buy a home or not? Let them answer it, because whatever their reality is now yours. And by the way, for the last little tidbit kicker on this, when you go to open houses and you're looking for people, you could say, hey, I know you completely understand you may or may not be looking for an agent, but if you were looking for an agent, what are you looking for an agent to provide you that you feel that you can't do on your own? Repurpose that other one. Perfect for open houses. That acknowledges they could do a lot on their own, because a lot of the things that we offer people are things they feel they could do on their own. It's all about the right questions. So here's what we're going to do tomorrow. Everyone needs to write down what their biggest fear is when it comes to this whole new buyers and sellers change. I'm afraid if I have to do this with a buyer, I'm afraid a client's going to ask me like this, making them actual questions and scenarios. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to plow through all of these tomorrow. We'll drop a spreadsheet in where people could literally just write their questions down. We'll have all this stuff and we'll jam away. Look, coaching has to be different in the future. Literally, I'm not even kidding you. It's like you need the right business coaching so your business doesn't go extinct. Because if you look back at the last 90 days, I saw this stuff coming a mile away, because I've been tracking this case for 2 years, and I also knew when all the court cases were and when they're going to trial. So we purposely left all these sessions open, so I had no idea what's going to happen. And if you look at the last 90 days, Remax disassociated from NAR. Realogy no longer requires any of their franchise, any corporate does not require an NAR membership, and they just made it the Wild West that any agent could charge any commission. There's no more your office manager might say, we don't take under 5% listings here. That's gone. So there's so much stuff, and the way that I look at it, it's a partnership. We have so much data and information. We need to just figure this stuff out for you and then just give it to you and train you on it. Does that make sense? It's a lot more interactive, and the things we're working on will be a lot more personalized. And for those of you, for the several hundred people who've sent me emails of these little teaser emails, we have something big coming. Next year, there will be a program called Playbook Plus. My team will kill me if I tell you any more about it. But it's what you have currently, but with an entire world more of stuff. See, Hersan's smiling, so he doesn't get 100 tickets They're like, what's this? What's this? Look, I am never been more committed in quadrupling down on anything I could do to make sure that this does not become any kind of loss of revenue. This becomes the greatest opportunity of your life. Because I believe everyone that's in our programs through the end of the year and through next year will be far better equipped because we can come to market faster with all this. We've been working at Compass. I've been working here for 5 years. There's not a product that exists here that I've not made national training for. So now it's just like reworking the formula on like, all right, here's my Compass advantage on why you should buy a house with me over another agent. Have you ever, imagine you can go to a seller and I could just give you a list to say, have you ever wondered what you pay an agent compensation for? And there's an entire list of all the stuff you do. You just eliminated all your competitors. You go to a buyer's agent and says, hey, completely understand to do this. Hey, are you aware of what an agent actually does for a buyer from the time they view your property to closing? Here's the list. And if I'm spending all this time with these people, do you think it impacts the time I spend with you? And would you rather have me spend this time on you? Right? There are things that we can give you, scripts and everyone else. Jody, send me an email. I'll make a donation. And that's what I have for you today. So look, live abundantly. And I say this more than ever with love in my heart. I love you all. Bring your scenarios tomorrow. As you can see in 30 minutes, I can get through a lot of information. And with the way these autopilots and this AI and all this stuff works, there's like summaries and takeaways. Like Tracy's autopilot says, wake up and become obsessed with profiling your clients, join a WhatsApp group, communicate with any friends and family who may be affected by this, step back and appreciate your freedom, right? They didn't get the last part of this, but it's pretty good. Questions, comments, concerns? My last thought is this. Do not worry about this whole NAR thing. Do not. We are so much further ahead of this. And like Mel Gibson in Conspiracy Theory, I've been preparing for this for 2 years. We literally have everything already done. So not next week. Yeah, next week we'll be putting the whole end-to-end buyers program together in our office with our team. So we're like moving really quickly. So everyone reach out to jodi.ticknor@compass.com. I would believe that's her. Perfect. All right, everyone. Love my heart. I love you all. And Cynthia, you're good. You have good heart. And everyone just enjoy what they have today and just take a moment, step outside and look around and realize that you're free. And that's the greatest gift anyone can give you in the world. Bye, everybody.